I'm Lynne Rosenberg, and this is a slightly different kind of trash. I haven't made one of these videos in a while. I thought maybe it was time. This is going to be a little different than the other videos I've made. This is not about a particular casting notice that came out recently, although there was a truly terrible one that came out last week, which some of you I'm sure saw. I do a lot of talking about the broader issues of the entertainment industry, and I don't always talk a lot about my own problematic experiences in the entertainment industry. So I thought this would be a fun exercise. Sometime around 2004, I found a casting notice for print work for a major pension administrator. I'm not going to name names, but it was TIAA-CREF. The breakdown was seeking actors to be used in print materials, subway ads, magazine spreads. It was a go-see, where you basically have your picture taken and hope that you get called for future work. But the meeting wasn't with a casting director, it was with the art director of the ad department. I went to a real office in a real building, and apparently he really worked there. When I arrived, he took my headshot and resume, asked me to sit down, and on the wall behind him were photos of other actors. In my mind now, they're all women, but maybe that's just how my memory has recreated it, because of where this story is headed. I'm sure you know where this story is headed. As I sat, I noticed a picture of a wife and child on his desk, and I remember thinking, oh good, that means I'm safe. I guess I knew where my story was headed, too. We chatted. I think maybe he mentioned potential work once. Then he asked me, so, are you hungry? And I blinked at him confused and said I'd already eaten, and he chided me as if I were supposed to know he was going to take me out for lunch, as if lunch were regularly part of the audition experience. I managed to decline, but he insisted I come back on another day so he could take me to the corporate dining room. And because in this business and in this society and at the age of 23, I'd learned I was supposed to make people happy, I agreed. This was all part of booking work, right? But we all know where this story is headed. So I left and came back. But see, it was still a real company, in a real building, at a real office. All the alarms are telling me in my head, things like that don't happen at real companies with real offices, and they definitely didn't happen to me. That shit happened to the girls in high school who get cast as Juliet and Ophelia. I was a girl in high school who got cast as all the male roles. There weren't enough boys to play. Because even as a child, there was no place for my way of being a woman in our collective stories. I'm protected, I thought. I'm safe. My lack of desirability keeps me safe. So I went back to the real building and was taken to the real corporate dining room. It was basically empty, except for the waitstaff. We were seated at a corner banquette where he insisted on sitting next to me instead of across from me. And I just want to run back into the memory at this point and shake this poor girl who thinks she's safe because she thinks she's not desirable, pull her from the banquette and run. But the problem is, there is a piece of her who does know where this story is going, and even though she's disgusted by him and disgusted by the situation, she's never been given attention like this from a man before. So part of her is relieved to know it's even possible. And the part of her who knows where this story is headed is in turn disgusted with the part of her that is relieved. So instead, she is frozen in the gray space between confirmation she is desirable and confirmation she is prey. He didn't do anything particularly offensive during lunch, but maybe he said nice dress, or you look very pretty, or you don't have to sit so far away, I won't bite. See, I don't know what's real and what's my reshaping of this memory, influenced by years of hearing versions of the same story from other female identifying performers over and over and over again. We finished lunch and he walked me down to the lobby and something in my gut is screaming, run, the door is right there, get out. But before I can, he pulled me into his body and gave me a long, lingering, too wet kiss on the cheek and whispered in my ear, I can't wait to see you again. And then there we were, where we were headed. We'd arrived. There was no work. There were never any print ads or subway ads. I had become that same old story. I left as fast as I could. I got home, and as I went to put my phone in its cradle, I accidentally dropped it directly into a glass of water, which was perhaps unconsciously prescient, because for the next 3 months, he called me incessantly. I stored his number as don't answer and felt violently ill every time I saw it on the screen of my phone. To this day, I feel nauseated when I see the acronym TIAA CREF. But I was 23, right? A kid. I had no tools, no resources. As an adult woman, I shouldn't have to go where that story is going again, right? When I was 34, my manager tried to stick his hand in my shirt. It took me 2 years to fire him. I don't tell these stories very often because I don't think they're bad enough to tell compared to everything I've heard happen to other women. And that is trash.